Am I the idiot for refusing to accept a present my fiancé's mother wanted to give me? My, female 36, fiancé, David, 34M, name changed, and I have been together for about 6 years now. His family is very wealthy. Although I'm very successful and a high earner, my fiancé works for his family's business and makes more than I do. I never want to be perceived as a gold digger, which is why I tried to keep my expenses strictly separate from his. I pay for my half of everything. If he ever gives me a gift, I make sure I get him something of equal value. David has often insisted on treating me, but I always refuse. I really don't feel comfortable letting other people pay for me. My fiancé has learned to respect this. After we get married, we will split all household expenses on a 50-50 basis. Our wedding is in October. His parents insisted on paying for a grand wedding for us, but David and I convinced them that we'd rather pay for it ourselves. The other day, David's mom showed me a diamond and sapphire necklace and earrings set that she had kept for David's future wife. She said she wanted me to have it, and preferably wear it on our wedding day. I felt very uncomfortable with this. I never accept any presents that I can't afford on my own. I told her I was flattered, but that I can't accept something so expensive. I told her I won't be able to give her something equally expensive in return, and I'm not okay with that. She said she didn't want anything from me and that David's sister-in-law had also been given similar jewelry when she married his brother. I told her I understand their tradition, but I can't compromise on my principles. She said, "Okay, fine." But I could tell she was unhappy. Later on, David told me I should have just accepted the jewelry because it would make his mom happy and because I'm part of the family now. I explained to him that 1, no, I'm not really a part of his family, not the way he is, and 2, being part of the family doesn't mean that I'm going to mooch off of them. He told me I should compromise and at least wear the set on the wedding day. I refused again, as, for my wedding, I would rather wear jewelry that I have bought with my own money. David said he understood and will speak to his mother. However, Davis's sister-in-law called me this morning and told me his mom is still upset and that she just accepted the gift and that I'm going too far with the independence thing. I have a feeling that David's mom is the one who put her up to this. I do want to know what Reddit thinks. Are they right? Am I going too far with this, or are they crossing the line? Am I the idiot? Now for a few comments before the update. You're the idiot for your scorekeeping and rigidly transactional relationship with money. It's understandable not to want to appear to be a gold digger, but marriage is a partnership and sometimes you have to pick up the slack for your partner. What would happen if you or your husband were unable to pay exactly 50% of the bills? Would you divorce? Comment 2. OP is not the idiot, and for anyone saying that OP is the idiot clearly doesn't understand OP and may never have been through what OP has been, and they failed to have any empathy and understanding. Now for the update. I posted this week's earlier and I'm now back with an update. I read all of your comments and advice about not thinking of gift giving as strictly transactional, and would like to thank you for your help and your honesty. Anyway, my partner, David, and I got married just 3 days ago. After posting about the necklace incident, and after seriously considering all of your comments, I decided to speak to his mom. The next time we met in person, I sat down with her and told her I was sorry if I had hurt her feelings. I told her that I was honored to know that she considers me a part of her family. My mother-in-law took my hand in hers and told me that she respects me a lot for being so independent. She said one of the reasons she's so sure that her son made the right choice is because it's clear that I'm not with him for his money. She said she was proud of me for all that I've accomplished and the hardships I've had to overcome. She also said that it's okay to accept gifts from those who love you. I nodded. I had never really had a heart-to-heart with her before. Up until this point, our interactions had always been very formal. I never really knew that she felt any affection for me. I didn't know how to react. She then gently asked me why I was always so distant. Why I still felt like I needed to prove that I'm not after anyone's money. She told me I didn't have to. That everyone already knew that I'm more than capable of pulling my own weight, paying my own bills, etc. And that it was time for me to relax and let my guard down a little. I was tongue-tied, as I usually get with emotional conversations. I thought about telling her all about my childhood, my traumas, etc., etc., etc. But I didn't, as I did not want to burden her. I haven't even told David. As it was time for me to leave, we hugged awkwardly. For the first time. I just nodded. If I had spoken, I might have cried. A few days after that, my mother-in-law came over again. She brought with her the necklace and earrings that I had refused to accept. She offered it to me again. I still didn't want to accept it, but I also didn't want to reject it again. I was just trying to figure out what to do. I must have looked stressed, because my mother-in-law told me I didn't have to give myself a headache over it. She said it good-naturedly, with a laugh. She then asked if I would like to just wear the earrings to the wedding along with my own necklace that I had bought for the occasion. I was so relieved. I excitedly said, Yes, I love that idea. I thanked her. She had taken a huge weight off of my shoulders. Later that day, David told me his mom was very happy that we could work things out. The wedding was beautiful. A quiet, intimate affair with lots of fun and laughter. I still haven't worked out all my issues. But I'll continue to try. Once again, thanks so much for your help. Comment 1. So happy it worked out for you. I would recommend opening up to your husband about your traumas. You will end up growing closer. You may also want to start therapy. It will help you with your traumas. Then the original poster responded with, I'm considering it. Thing is, after a lifetime of bottling up, you don't really know how to open up. But I will try. Thanks. Comment 2. You're the idiot. Seriously, what is wrong with you? You had the perfect opportunity to stand your ground and maintain your rigid principles, but instead, you caved like a weakling. Your mother-in-law manipulated you into accepting the gift, and you just fell for it. It's obvious that she's trying to undermine your independence and make you dependent on her and her family's wealth. By accepting the earrings, you've shown weakness and allowed them to think they can control you. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for not wanting to make my future brother-in-law a groomsman? My fiancé, female 25, and I, male 29, are from the same hometown, but we never went to school together. I graduated high school the year before she started at the same high school. I did, however, go to school with her older brother, male 30. Her brother was a bully to me during our entire school careers. He made fun of me for being fat and nerdy. He would call me racist names. They're Italian and I'm Indian, so he had a lot to say about that, and he was just overall terrible to me. I figured once we graduated, I'd never see him again, and for the most part, I was right. I went off to college out of state, and then ended up going to graduate school as well. During my first year in grad school, I was a TA for a class, and I noticed one of the girls who I thought was very smart and very pretty. But obviously I couldn't go out with her because of our positions. Well, right after the semester ended, I ran into her at a coffee shop off campus and we chatted for a bit. She ended up asking me for my number, and then she actually asked me out a few weeks later. We've been together ever since. At the start of our relationship, I had no idea who her brother was. They have a very common American last name, so it's not like that was going to do anything. Eventually, we figured out we were from the same town and we went to the same high school, at which point she asked me if I knew her brother and I said I knew of him, but not well. I probably should have told her what her brother had done to me at that point, but I was too embarrassed, so I kept it hidden. Things really came to a head when she introduced me to her family a year later. Her brother actually called me by the same nickname he liked to use to bully me, and then made a few semi-insulting remarks towards me again. My fiancé, girlfriend at the time, noticed and called him out on it, and he just explained that that was how we always talked before. I told her it wasn't a big deal since I didn't want to cause any drama. We got engaged 3 months ago. Recently, we were talking about wedding plans and stuff with her family, and he asked me when I was going to ask him to be a groomsman and if I was doing anything special. I deflected, and after the call I asked her about it. She explained that her brother expected to be made a groomsman, since she was making my little sister and her sister-in-law bridesmaids, and he made her a bridesmaid in his wedding. I told her about why I didn't like her brother, and she said that she understood, but it was still right to make him a groomsman. I said no again, and she got pretty upset about it and said her parents were going to be mad. I was also annoyed, so I texted her family group chat to say that he wasn't going to be one under any circumstance, and now they're all mad at me. Am I the idiot? Edit. I texted my brother-in-law and told him that I felt like I deserved an apology from him. He said he had nothing to be sorry for. I told him that I didn't even want him at the wedding and the only reason he was going to be there was because he had to be. Everyone is even more angry with me now. I know I shouldn't have said that, but he really upset me with that. I feel like I have to fix this. Edit 2. So I showed my fiancée this post and she had an actual panic attack reading through the comments. She kept repeatedly asking me if I was going to break up with her, and then she kept saying sorry. I think the comments telling me to reconsider the relationship and consider whether or not I wanted to actually have a future with her really got to her. She's yelling at her parents on the phone right now. I have no idea whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Edit 3. So my fiancé's parents decided they wanted to talk to me after my fiancé yelled at them. Her mom apologized straight away and said that she had no idea we had such a history, and although she believed his comments had always been wrong, she thought I was okay with it. Her dad also apologized but tried to talk about how family was more important, and I should let this all be in the past. I said I couldn't, and he started getting really angry at me, and now all three of them are yelling at each other again. Well, mostly my fiancé and her mom versus her dad, and I'm starting to feel really guilty about this whole thing. Now for a few comments before an update. This is definitely something that you shouldn't have made a secret at the beginning of the relationship. There's a couple options. Hash it out with the brother, and see if he'll man up and apologize or refuse to let him be a groomsman like you are now. Fair warning that when you marry someone, you're also marrying their family. Might want to think about this. Comment 2. Not the idiot. It's your special day too. You don't need to have someone standing next to you who treats you like that and makes you feel uncomfortable. If she's sticking up for that behavior in any way, maybe just take another long look at this whole relationship. Now for the update. So, I think things have been mostly resolved, and I wanted to give an update on the situation. I decided to take some of the advice that I received, and to finally stand up for myself. This was all a bit too intense for me, and her mother reached out to arrange a family meeting, which happened last Saturday. Her mom actually said she wanted to clear the air since she wanted her family to be able to spend Easter together, and that included me as well, even if I don't celebrate Easter. So on Saturday, we went over to her parents' house. It was just us, since I asked to speak with them without her brother around first. Basically, we sat them down and told them that there was no way her brother was going to be a groomsman, and right now, he was pretty close to being disinvited completely. Her dad started to protest, but my fiancé backed me up, and then I just went through everything he had ever said or done to me, and then straight up asked him, "If our children, your grandchildren, told you someone treated them like this, how would you feel?" That shut him up, and I think he realized that our kids were going to look like me and could go through a lot of the same things. That got him on our side, so when her brother arrived, all three of them basically expressed to him how disappointed they were in his behavior. Honestly, I was surprised by how completely her parents flipped, and even though it was disappointing how they all seemed to disregard the blatant racism he showed me for so long, it was really nice to have their support now. He got pretty mad that everyone was ganging up on him, but when my father-in-law said that if he didn't learn to treat me like family he was going to be the one kicked out and not me, that really got him taking things seriously. My in-laws are fairly wealthy, so I think he was afraid of being disowned and disinherited, even though I doubt that that would actually happen. He ended up apologizing, and although I don't know if it was sincere, it still felt pretty good to finally get that from him. I told him that he was still invited to the wedding, and although he wasn't going to be a groomsman, I did hope that we could move past things. He seemed to agree. Easter was pretty good the day after, and he didn't say anything even remotely snarky. Hopefully things stay that way. He's going to come over to my parents' place with her parents for Eid next weekend, so we'll see how he behaves then. Thank you to everyone who gave me such great advice. Comment 1. This is definitely better than things could have gone, but you are right to not consider his apology to be sincere. It was made in a moment where he saw no other way out. Your best bet here is to maintain an arm's length with him. Yes, he is technically part of your family, but not someone that needs to be close. Make sure to keep your guard up, as he will likely be looking for ways to get back to his old behavior, or worse, take some kind of revenge. Have a conversation with your fiancé about it, and you're concerned that he only made his apology because he was backed into a corner. This could go very bad if her and the parents figure all is now forgiven and in the past, and he starts subtly taking jabs at you. Then the original poster responded with, "I've already talked to my fiancé about it. She actually still wants to disinvite him from the wedding entirely." I think the comments on the post really got to her, and now she wants to go full scorched earth on him, even though he apologized. She's even said multiple times that she doesn't know what she would do if she ever found out that he said something to our future kids, but she says it wouldn't be pretty. It's honestly kind of scary. I'm not going to trust him to be the best brother-in-law in the world, but I also think he knows he can't get away with things, so I've held her back from that. I have agreed that we should make sure to keep an eye out for how he acts around our future kids, whenever that happens. Comment 2. Well, this is fantastic. Everyone can learn and grow. Hopefully he changes his ways. But mainly glad that your future in-laws have fully understood and come around. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to drop a like. It really helps the channel grow. See you next time.